we talked a lot about issues about the water going off, the stormwater runoff, and so forth. Now we have our resident expert that's going to go into that with you. This is Guyneth Williams. She's with our Stormwater Inspection and Enforcement Group in the City of Houston. This is the lady that's going to talk to you about all the stormwater issues that we're trying to bring up earlier. Here you go.
Well, thank you. Let's give HPD a hand. All right, my name is Guyneth Williams. You can call me Guy. Some of you may know me. Some of you may have seen me out in the field. I just met a company that remembered me. I used to work for the health department, but now I'm working with Public Works and stormwater quality enforcement. So we're going to talk a little bit about stormwater and about permits and about pressure washing. But Steve mainly he stole my presentation already. So I can sum it up in one sentence. Nothing leaves your property but stormwater. That's all. Thank you. All right. Let's go. Let's move on. Okay, stormwater management. The TCEQ, which is the Texas Environmental Commission on Environmental Quality, issued a TPDES permit. And that's what it stands for, Texas Pollutant Discharge Elimination System Permit. And this permit is for the City of Houston for its municipal separate stormwater sewer system, which is the MS4. So we kind of monitor some of the city's, the permit that TCEQ has given to the City of Houston. So we have to make sure that the water stormwater that's being discharged is not polluted, because we want people to enjoy the bayous, and you know, Houston is called the Bayou City. So we want to protect our environment. We want to make sure that people can enjoy the waters of the state for recreational purposes, as well as for fishing. So that's part of what we talk about stormwater management. Any questions so far? Okay, what is an MS4? And these things are what the MS4 is. Ditches, gutters, storm drains, any publicly owned system that discharges water, and we talk about our wastewater treatment plants, and any system used for collecting and conveying stormwater, which could be possibly our detention ponds or retention ponds. Things of that nature. Stormwater permit helps protect the water quality by keeping rainwater from carrying pollutants to our rivers, our lakes, and the waters of the U.S., as well as the state. The City of Houston's involvement is that the permit requires the city, among other things, to enact an ordinance and implement programs to reduce pollutants. And we do have a stormwater ordinance that gives us the right to protect our stormwater or our waters of the state. And these pollutants that come in stormwater runoff from new development, significant redevelopment, construction sites, and industrial and high-risk facilities. And we have a group in our section that does the permitted facilities, or go around to the industrial facilities and the high-risk facilities to make sure that they are in compliance and they are not discharging any pollutants with their stormwater. So I'd like for these guys to stand up for a moment so you can see who we are. So these are our investigators who are out there in the field doing these inspections. And then we have our supervisor back there, Doreen You want to stand, Doreen? All right, so moving right along. Industrial and high-risk facilities. These people are subject, or facilities are subject to either the NPDES, which is the National Pollutant Elimination Discharge System, or the Texas Pollutant Elimination Discharge System. And they have a potential to contribute to a pollutant to the MS4. And when we talk about industrial, we're talking about those facilities who manufacture, mainly, who manufacture. Then we have the high risk, which could possibly include those who are hazardous waste, who have storage for hazardous waste. Those are high risk. Now, prioritizing facilities. This came from the LA County, and they ranked industrial facilities in this order, from prioritizing from the highest that could pollute to the lowest. And the city of Houston has something similar to this as well. Now, you may need a permit, and I'm not saying everybody does, but you may need a permit if your stormwater discharges is associated with your industrial activity. And it all depends on your SIC code, your primary SIC code. That's your standard industrial classification. And you can find that on your sales tax, your SIC code. And that will possibly determine, not always, if you need a storm water permit. If you need a stormwater permit, then you would have to file an NOI, that's a notice of intent, with the state. And then you may not need a permit. Then you can file an NEC, a no exposure certification, also with the state. But these inspectors, when they come to your facilities, they will determine if you need one. And also, you can always call TCEQ, and they'll be next, and I think that's Cynthia Williams. And you can find out if you need a stormwater permit. Not everyone is subject to the permit. Now here, Chapter 47-741A is our ordinance, and this is what we mainly give citations on, that nothing, again, as we say, nothing leaves your property but stormwater, so you can threaten, you can introduce, or you can cause to be introduced into the MS4 a discharge not composed entirely of stormwater. So this is what you would get charged for, or written up for. Any questions so far? Yes.
I have friends around the country that sometimes they put in proposals for cleaning city projects, and the city turns around and has it done in-house. All kinds of stuff goes down the stormwater drain. Does the city of Houston have a permit where they can do that, or would the city get a citation from you or from the Houston police if that were to happen?
Does the city get a citation from us? No. What we would do, we would go to whoever is in violation, and then we would talk with them. Now they could possibly, if we want to refer to the HPD, then HPD could handle that. Any other questions?
These industrial businesses, are they actually, they're being allowed to discharge into the stormwater system? Is that what you're saying? With the proper permits?
Yes, with the proper permit. If they have a stormwater permit, they can discharge a certain amount of pollutants. They have to go through the things that's in their permit. They have effluent limitations, so it's a lot associated with the permit. They'll have to place structural controls in place. So it's all part of the permit.
So would a larger manufacturing facility have to have a pre-treatment facility on site in order to discharge?
Say that again?
Would you have to have a pre-treatment facility on site in order to discharge?
Well, I'm not sure. It depends. It possibly could depend. Is someone here from stormwater from the permitted facilities? Maverick, can you answer that?
Would an industrial situation business have to have a water and actual treatment facility before they release the water into the storm system? So you're saying it might be over 10,000 gallons or 100,000 gallons? Is that what you're saying?
He had a question about the pre-treatment system, and I was trying to make it clear. It's not the quantity of water, it's the amount of pollutants in the water that has a limitation. You can, as an industrial facility, you can't discharge. That's what she was saying. But there's a limit on the amount of pollutants that can be discharged. You just can't get a permit and discharge anything. There's limits on what you can discharge. And those limits, if you exceed them, it's kind of strange the way that works. We don't really, I'm not going to get into that. But when you exceed on those limits, you have to locate the city. You would have to send it to a certified lab and test it. The city's not going to do that. Right, it's part of your permit. You have to send it to a certified lab. They have the water analyzed for pollutants once a year. And in some cases, it could be twice a year. Depends on the type of industry you have.
So if it exceeds after that, could I receive a violation?
If you don't notify the city, yes. But if you exceed, what we do is you have to send us corrective actions, things that you're going to do to reduce those pollutants. And then once we review that information that you send us, we could send you back a letter telling you have to sample again. Okay? Is that clear enough?